So welcome everyone to day 4. So this is another really, really important part of auditing your brand. And again, something that you should always be checking in on. And it is about customer journeys. And often people can be confused about what their customer journey is. A customer journey is basically the journey that your customer takes from when they become aware of your brand to when they purchase. And for the sake of this, we're not going to be taking into account the point that they become aware of your brand, any sort of marketing, any sort of ads or sequences or funnels or anything like that. It's purely getting your audience from, in this case, probably either your social media platform or your newsletter or being featured somewhere to making the sale or to guiding them towards the action that you want them to take. So yes, as I said, the word customer journey can mean many different things. I mean, it means one thing, but it's like really, really broad. But for the sake of this, your digital customer journey is how you guide your audience seamlessly from platform to platform towards the end action that you want them to take. So examples of actions in service-based businesses like ours is like book a call, sign up, check out, fill a form, buy now, the final action basically. And here is just a really simple customer journey that might feel familiar to a lot of you, just so you can kind of understand a little bit more. So your audience lands on your Instagram page, they look at one of your posts, see a call to action that prompts them to click on your link in bio. They then go to your link in bio and they look at the button that they're most interested in. That button then leads to the website with the exact information. The information is relevant to their problem and goal. And then as they scroll, they see further call to action. So for those of you who don't know what a call to action is, it's basically a button or a phrase or a sentence that is telling your audience what action to take next. The book a call button leads to a booking system. They fill out a form, they see the open slots in your calendar, they book their call, they receive a thank you message that then redirects them to another relevant page on the website, and they receive an email that lets them know that you've received their booking. Like, this is a really airtight kind of customer journey, like booking customer journey. And it seems quite simple, but believe me, there's a lot that can go wrong in that journey. And this is like the biggest thing that I see in terms of losing out on sales. And the funny thing is, the day that I kind of planned this email, I realized that the form on my website had my old email in and it wasn't connecting. And for the last 2 months, I've missed all my inquiries. So if you haven't inquired with me, please apply again. So yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong in that journey. So you need to make sure that at each touch point, they're served all the right information in the right order, so they're primed and ready to hit the buy button. So there's a balance of making sure that things are all flowing. And then also, it doesn't just, your customer journeys aren't going to be good just because all the links work. It's so much more than that. It's about, as I said, serving them the right information in the right order. And there's a lot of like psychology that goes into this about what people need to hear or see before then their brain makes the next point in the decision. But again, for the sake of this, use this as an example. And I'm sure that when you come to map your own customer journeys, you can probably write them down yourself. Yeah, and there's also like a whole other level, which is brand experience, which is something that's super, super important, which is all about how you weave your brand values and what you stand for into your customer journey so that your audience gets a really amazing experience of what it's like to work with you. And also that their experience of using your journey is really pleasurable. But again, that's something else. So let's get those journeys moving in the right direction so you're not missing out. Again, we're just going to go straight to action. So here are some actions you can take. Okay, check your links and buttons are working. It seems simple, but broken links are so common. And if your audience hits a dead end, they're unlikely to find a way around it unless they're really invested. So those new people that might be coming to your page, if there's a broken link, they maybe won't be as invested to go and find out more. Make sure that the next step on your journey is what you say it's going to be. I was on a designer's website the other day, and this is just so simple. Like, her services were laid out, and then a couple of the buttons for some of her services just redirected back to the home page. And I was like, okay, well, how am I going to find out if what your services are? So yeah, just make sure that the next step is always what you say it's going to be. Other things are like, if you're stating an action on a button, such as like download my guide or find out more about my services, make sure it's relevant. Because if they're thinking that they're going to see something and they see something else, it's going to throw their train of thought off. If you have automated email sequences, make sure you're constantly checking in. I had this problem the other day where I edited one of my Flowdesk emails and I didn't realize that it hadn't been published again. And again, people weren't getting my guide. I am like throwing my hands up and saying, through this challenge, it's actually highlighted to me how much more work I need to do on my brand in terms of consistency and customer journey and how important it is. So yeah, we're all our greatest teacher, right? This is a nice one. Give your button copy and call to actions a bit of a glow up. So call to actions start on whatever platform your audience is starting at. So whether that is a social media post, whether it's a reel, whether it's a TikTok, whether it's a newsletter, whether you've been featured on a podcast, always make sure that there's a call to action to get your audience to like the next phase, or direct them, because if they're interested, they're going to want to find out more information. And things like, okay, this is my opinion, like and share or follow for more of this is like a wasted call to action. It's so generic. Like, people are going to follow you anyway, even if you say follow for more. It's like, I don't like it personally. So call to actions that you could have on in your marketing is, if you resonated this, sign up to my newsletter or head to my website to X, Y, and Z. Here's a blog, found this interesting. There's a blog post on my website, link in bio. And so just always make sure that your link's in bio. If you are coming from social media, obviously, if it's a direct link, then that's fine. Are always updated. You want to give people more of what they're interested in to show them that you are the expert, and being more direct in what you want them to do is gonna call them to action easier. So there's a little spelling mistake there, I'll correct that. Equally, with your button call to actions, generic find out more, learn more can work, but you can use buttons to speak directly to your audience. And what I mean by this is, look at the copy of the body of the text, and say you're talking about transformation and you're listing the transformations of your program. There might be like a really key transformation in there that you could turn into the call to action, like I'm ready to find freedom, or something like that, or even like sign me up, or I'm ready for this, or I'm not a copywriter. But just, your call to actions don't need to be boring. I think that sometimes there is a case for them to be like quite obvious, especially if it's kind of on your homepage and you have multiple call to actions in a row. Then maybe something a little bit more simple is easier, because there's not so much information there, but that's like a user experience thing. But yeah, just play around with it. The next thing and final thing on this list is create a custom 404 page. So if for some reason your user clicks on an out-of-date link, make sure that your 404 page, and that's basically the page that your user is directed to when there's nowhere else to go. And you might have done this before. You click on a link and it's kind of expired. It takes you to a 404 page, which is kind of like, oh, this is the page that you have requested is not available anymore or something. And you can do this really easily in Squarespace. If you're interested in learning how to do that, let me know and I can record a video. And you can add your tone of voice in here, be like, oh, whoops, sorry, should have checked that link, or sorry, you found yourself at a dead end, or this is all very bad copywriting. It needs to be relevant to your business. And you can even redirect them back to another part of your site so that any broken journeys can be easily salvaged. So yeah, I hope those customer journeys are airtight. And tomorrow is a real special one that's close to my heart, which is connecting back with your audience. And we're going to be going over how connecting with your audience can reignite the passion and love that you have for your business. And then also, how can we get information from our audience in a way that is going to really help us to understand where they're at, and also use that information in our marketing materials. So yeah, as always, any questions, please let me know. And you can email me, DM me, and I'll see you tomorrow.